Suppose you were a European country during the 18th century. Most of your neighboring countries had colonies to show off their pensions. As a colonial comrade, you would want to have a colony where you would not to be inferior. So what is colonialism? Colonialism for Europeans was a golden age of exploration and discovery of the new world and their obligation to bring development, civility, and relation to those inferior to them. For the colonized indigenous people, this is a view as if of the land. There is exploitation, oppression, and seizure. Simply, it is to take over the place, come into power, or take advantage, claiming to do it for good intention by Europeans who want to seize or colonize anyone. He would look for the new and weaker continent. To put it simply, it's like doing nowadays. Colonialism can take many forms, such as pay appearing to indigenous people of the continent for farming, the exploitation of natural resources and the local population and cheap labor benefit the mother country economy calling. Taking power in the continent created an unequal power that is a result of today's racism. Here we will talk more about colonization in my country, Thailand. Thailand used to be colonized, do you know? Thailand was once colonized by the French, but did not succeed. However, colonial time resulted in the Bowring Treaty, which made Thailand have relationship association with more European and developed by lead and bound whatever education, medicine, transportation.
Here, if you ask, and what effect did colonialism have on media art and designs, we give example of three outstanding artists whose work are related to colonialism's first person, Hugh Locke. He is a Scottish artist. Much of his work features excited material and historical source with his own political or cultural concerns, either through laying or through the use of an existing object or photograph. It brings together history and modernity in a witty and creative way. In his work, he often talks about political and history. For example, a work of art called Sea Power, using the ship symbolism as an icon reflects the roots of colonialism, Europe's so-called Age of Discovery. His style on essence and Renaissance accurate meaning as well as contemporary protest and oil reference the skeleton deprives the exploitations, welfare, and shuffling caused by European discoveries and sea voyages, the regency of imperialism in the form of globalization and consumerized or new colonialism. One also presents thus in the price. Locke used the ship signifier to focal point out the center of maritime voyages in colonialism and in continued regencies. Hugh Locke, he is a person interested in history. He said he always liked to look at the object in the museum, then ask where it come from, how to do it. Is it something that one comes from another country? He then reflects and combines them into his artwork. It is clear that the art or culture of the colonial have affected him greatly. I think this is an advantage because we exchange things and culture to create new form of art.
Here we will talk about another artist. His name is Donald Roney. He was one of 20 children born into a Jamaican family. Family lived on Matrix Street in Westwick, which became the center of controversies. When wife owned the cancelled support to ban Black's family, he was discharged of the hospital, which cycle sell anemia wife. So like he spent his time creating college sketchbook, which became its own instrument and document his view on black identity as racist in the UK. Works such as In the House of My Father was one of icons based on the 1962 Hollywood film of the same name. He challenged the traditional American portrayal of good and evil. Colonization of the America signified protest colonization as a daring and exciting structure. Ronnie painting present and less scary, more violent narrative faces go around the fish on the left. The only good India is against India, led by General Frederick of the United States Army in 1869. Another work is World the West One, how the West one of the first political work based on the 1962 Hollywood film of the same name. He challenged the political American portrayal of good and evil. The colonization of this American well, the film possessed colonization as a daring and exciting struggle. Ronnie painting presents a less creative, more violent narrative. Faces draw around the figure on the left. The only good India in the East India is said by General Philip, study of the United States Army in 1869.
Both work endorse Ronnie's feeling of family and identity. As an artist born in England, Ronnie demonstrated his Versatility, using a variety of media, from printing, installations, and photography to the robot film and digital, but it often defies simple categorizations both in terms of contents and to innovative approach to material and technical processes. He chose to include these medical conditions of single-cell anemia, which is a disease that he has been living with all his life. He used this as a metaphor of black people, because stereotype is one evidence that the colonization has affected his life in a bad way, resulting in the creation of his art.
There is also a Thai artist who was influenced by this event, Nakrop Bulmanas. He is a colored artist who combined old Thai image with work of art, whether Thai or foreign, to make work of art. His work will show more Thai politics. Visit art how his work is with the colonized era of Thailand. There is a chapter of his speech that explains the concept of how he works at the time of modernization and complicated relations with colonized Western nations. We see that the cultural invention of photography that's alive in Thailand almost 2 centuries ago are relevant to this issue. Because before the Siamese people saw that the reproduction of project identity was about the magic. And the advent of the first camera by a French bishop challenges this idea. Why some Thai elite want to open the mind to Western progress? So we might look at photography as achievement. It's not science. It's not very natural or supernatural. Photography also allows Siamese people to explore and present their own appearance to the outside world for the first time. Which was born from looking through the eye of a Western photography through the tool of modernity like the camera. To explain simply, it is the French Thai brought the camera to Thailand and resulted in the work this unique to Nakrop Bulmanas. That is, yes, the 3 artists were all inspired by colonialism, regardless of experience or interest in history, or because they want to realize the bad days of colonialism. This is the result for me to say that colonialism definitely affects media art and design.